So I'm using a new microphone now, and we're gonna see how it works. If this microphone's boo boo and caca, I apologize, but I'm gonna listen to it after. Anyway, chapter 2, Ray or Rye, Raya, Rai, Reb. I have no idea. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I think she's a girl. If I'm gonna be honest too, that could be a guy. Anyway, a ball of fire skims past my face, nearly singling my hair off. Oh, let me start that sentence over again. A ball of fire skims past my face, nearly singeing my hair off. I barely have time to duck when I feel a second wave of heat rippling towards me. Plagues. Kit's in a lovely mood today. Dancing on the balls of my feet, I watch as another sphere of fire comes hurtling in my direction, while the familiar feel of adrenaline floods through me. I throw up a shield of water, hearing the fire hiss before it melts into nothing more than a thick cloud of steam. Kit squints, attempting to see me through the smoke, before his eyes widen when I suddenly collide with him. We tumble to the ground as I pin him down, raising a flaming fist aimed at his face. Yield? I can't keep the smile from my twitching lips. He coughs out a laugh, his gaze flickering between my face and the blazing fist raised beside it. Sorry, let me start that again. Oh, yeah. If I say no, are you really gonna punch me like that, little brother? Despite the fire burning mere inches from him, Kit's green eyes were gleamed with amusement. I think you'd know how to answer that by now. I smiled as I cocked my fist back further, posing to strike. All right, I yield, Kit sputters. But only because I wouldn't want poor Eli to have to set another one of our broken noses. I chuckle darkly at the thought of seeing the look on the royal physician's face if we were to stumble in with yet another broken bone. After standing to my feet, I offer a hand to Kit, who's still sprawled on the ground. The smile he gives me doesn't quite reach his eyes when he finally says, Plague, Sky, you're better with powers than I am, and this is why you will be ruling the country, I say simply, while I'll be fighting on the battlefield, distracting the enemies with my dashing good looks. Are you saying that I couldn't distract the enemies with my own dashing good looks? Kit asked through his deep laughter, feigning offense. I'm saying that we are only half brothers, so I'm afraid that means you only have half of my charms. Kit barks out another laugh. And by that logic, I suppose you'll only have half of my brains then. Thank the plague for that. The words are barely out of my mouth before he's shoving me with a grin. We walk the worn path between the dirt training circles that reside on the castle grounds. Imperials in training and other elites of higher status continue their sparring as we pass, most using abilities while few use weapons. Heads turned towards us, their eyes burning into my skin, mirroring the sun beating down on us from above. Ignoring the stares, I breathe in the training ground's familiar scent of literal blood, sweat, and tears before grabbing a sword from a weapons rack and tossing one to Kit, whose expression can only be described as exasperated. You know, I've always enjoyed fighting with weapons more than abilities, I say in answer to his pointed look as I mindlessly test the balance of my blade. Ouch! Bless you, thank you. Nit saunters further into the muddy ring, all but rolling his eyes. Yes, I'm well aware of how much you love to beat down on me with a sword. I rotate my wrist, swinging my blade as we begin circling each other. It does happen to be one of my favorite hobbies. Yes. I advance suddenly, swinging my sword down as hard as I can, sending a jolt into my arm. See? Isn't this fun? Kit grins his teeth against my strike. Riveting. I fall into a familiar trance, letting my feet dance around the ring as we spar. Getting lost in the rhythm, my mind clears. My body hums with energy. I've always felt more alive when I fight. It's what I was made to do. This is what keeps me sane over the years of training and tutoring. A dim-witted king is a dead king. Father's words ring in my mind, having been drilled throughout my skull after every complaint about my tedious lessons as a boy. Though, I won't have to worry about being dead or dim-witted king, seeing that I won't be a king at all. And, after arguing just to the father, he kindly created a new saying for me to live by. A dim-witted enforcer is a defeated empire. Encouraging. A sharp pain sears up my forearm, dragging me from my thoughts with a jolt. Hey! Better get your head in the game, Kai, or I might actually beat you. Kit has a look of triumph on his face that I intended to wipe off. I wouldn't want my future enforcer slacking on the job. Before he can even finish his remark, I'm pushing the sword to the ground and pinning it under my own. I'm pushing his sword to the ground and pinning it under my own before swiveling. Oh, sorry, I don't know how to say that word. Behind me. In one swift motion, I kick my boot up, sliding a dagger from its settle to the sharp tip against his back. I'm sorry, what was that, Your Majesty? I release my hold on him, and he turns. I sweep into a mocking bow while tucking the dagger back into my boot. That earns me a solid shove that nearly has me staggering. One I return in kind while Kit chuckles. His dirty blonde hair is far more dirty than mine at the moment, spattered with chunks of mud from rolling around in the ring. Our shirts have long been abandoned in the summer heat, and like me, sweat slicks down his tan chest. It's almost comical how obvious it is that we're only half brothers. Other than our physical appearance, I lack Kit's caring, like he lacks my callousness. He's patient, personable, and fit for the throne, like I'm fit for the battlefield. A king, while I'm a killer. Kai, are you even listening to me? Kit looks equally concerned and amused as he snaps his fingers to the front of my face. Plagues, how much blood did you lose? I follow his gaze to see the rivulets of red trailing from my wound on my arm, blood weaving in between my knuckles and dripping from my fingertips. Well, looks like Eli won't be getting the day off after all, thanks to you. I glance up at Kit, expecting a remark, only to find his gaze fixed on something across the grounds. Well, now look who's not paying attention. My eyes stray to the figure strutting towards us, training leathers clinging to her every curve and lilac hair whipping in the wind. Oh, look, Bitchy Blair. I breathe under my breath as she reaches us, causing Kit to choke on a laugh. Hello, boys. Her voice is like ice, cold and smooth. Oh, let me start that again. Hello, boys. Her voice is like ice, cold and smooth. How's the training coming? Her gaze sweeps lazily over the both of us before returning to our faces with a slight smirking twist in her lips. Getting ready for the trials, Kai? Not that I need to prepare. A slow smile creeps onto her face at that. I would think that the future enforcer would want to make a good impression on the kingdom by winning. She's suddenly very interested in her nails, feigning nonchalance. I run a hand through my hair with a bored sigh. And I plan on doing just that. She gives me a smile that's anything but sweet. I would hope so, seeing that you're the best elite in decades. Well, they say so. Plagues, here we go. Kit takes a step forward and puts a hand to his chest like he's been wounded. Ouch, Blair. I'll remember that comment when I'm king. Oh, did I hurt your pride, Kit? She offers a fake pout before turning her attention back to me. Besides, I think personally, I'll be winning the trials. I huff out a humorous laugh before peering down at a small form. And what makes you so sure that you'll even be competing? I say this knowing full well that she will, in fact, be in the trials. With a flick of her wrist, a dagger flies out from the weapons rack, responding to my comment. Before I can blink, it's suddenly suspended in the air and digging into my jugular. As the daughter of the general, she steps towards me until there are mere inches between us and whispers, I think I have a pretty good shot of getting into the games, don't you? She giggles, even while pressing the floating knife to my throat, further providing her the point. The buzz of dozens of powers pound through my blood, all belonging to the other individuals training in the courtyard. I force the other abilities to fall silent, focusing on Blair's power and the feel of it humming beneath my skin, urging me to grab hold of it. See, she's a powerful telly. and her demonstration with his dagger is the least of what she can do in her mind. I reached out to that tingling feeling that is her ability and let it wash over me, claw, to the surface, and then I became it. Just as I did with Kit's dual power of fire and water, and just as I can do with any one of the abilities surrounding me. My smile is cold as I flip the floating dagger midair, pushing it against the tough leather coverings her heart with nothing but my mind. Well, you better get to training, I say quietly before loosening my hold on her ability, letting the dagger fall to the ground with a thud. I don't bother saying anything more before I turn and stride towards the castle. Kit falls silently into step beside me, seemingly just as lost in thought as I am as we make our way back to the castle gates. With the trials only 2 weeks away, it seems I'm no longer able to blissfully ignore their existence and my role within them. The smell of roasting chicken and potatoes wafting through the kitchen is enough to steal my attention. I shoot a glance at the abnormally quiet Kit before turning to stride through the kitchen doors. Afternoon, ladies. I flash a quick smile at the cooks and the servants milling around the kitchen as they prepared dinner. Miss me? Miss me? I croon, lifting myself up onto a hard counter and leaning back on my palms. I catch the eyes of a few servant girls before they redden and turn back to their work, exchanging giggled whispers with one another. The heart of the kitchen. Oof, let me start again. The heat of the kitchen hits me like a wave, washing over me and coating my already slick skin. My skin. Oh, my skin. I run a hand through my hair before running it down my face, unbothered by the realization that I'd been walking around without a shirt after abandoning it in the filthy ring, a habit even father hasn't been able to break me of. Kit's head pops around the corner, a grin splitting his face. I thought I smelled my favorite dish. You're such a sweetheart, Gale. He strides over to the cook, stirring a pot full of creamy potatoes over the sweltering stove. Her dark skin glistens with sweat. She can't help but smile when looking at Kit's face. Oh, don't think I did this for you, Kitty. Mashed potatoes happen to be my favorite as well. She smiles, patting him on the cheek before turning her continued stirring. His eyes meet mine from where I sit atop the counter before darting to my arm and the wound I'd forgotten was still bleeding. With a shake of her head, she says sternly, You better not get any blood on my counter, Kai. I crack a smile at that. Well, this wouldn't be the first time. She shakes her head again, fighting a smile all the while Gale's been slipping us extra food and treats since we were boys running around the castle with half our clothes on, which is what we clearly still do. She witnessed far more than the one fight unfold between us in the very kitchen over who gets the last of her sticky buns. You two haven't visited me in a while, she says, adding seasoning to her potatoes. Getting sick of me, huh? You? Yes, but never your food. The words had barely left my mouth before a glob of potatoes comes flying at my face. I don't have the time or the energy to duck before the mash joints the mattered mud and dirt. Never a dull moment with us, is there? Kit muses from where he's leaning against the ledge, watching as I pull the potatoes clinging to my hair. I hop off the counter and stride over to the cook, giving her a peck on the cheek. It's always a pleasure, Gale. I reach around her to grab an apple from the basket as I say, I look forward to our next food fight. After tossing one to Kit, I rub my own apple in the pants before taking a bite. Prince Kai? I stiffen, sigh, and turn towards the voice behind me. A young boy looks up nervously, his hands fidgeting with the hem of his shirt. I raise my eyebrow, my impatience evident. The king requests your presence in the throne room.